Do any of you manage artists or teach the instrument that you play?
Not any artist development, but I try to take on mentorships and some drum lessons. And the first thing that, like I said earlier, is you got to find your voice in the field, in the particular field, and open yourself up to more than what you like to listen to. Get the Rolodex rolling and get through all the genres, and there's something special in every genre to me that I can gravitate to, and in my iTunes I have like tons of music, and it's all different. And when you try and teach, you try not to, because they're inspired by you in some way, and they I want a drum lesson, and you say, okay, well, what are you looking to get out of this lesson? And they say, well, I want to do what you do. And they say, okay, well, if you want to start the process, then we can do that. Okay, let's start here, and start to a place where they can understand and kind of get it. And then they get to a certain level of their playing, and now you have to apply, this other thing. So then by that time you'll see if they're serious or not, if they really want to do it. And if they do, then they would take the time and try and understand where you're coming from. And like kids, they just want to bang on stuff, so you don't really charge them any money. It's just like you want to just bring your kid over and let them play and give me like a box of Oreos or something. But the teenagers and the older guys, and some guys, that play professionally, sometimes ask questions, and sometimes we sit down on the kid or whatever. But the approach is to just not to impress or force yourself or your thing onto them. Kind of allow them to find their own voice mainly.
Another question for you, Chris. So when you're on tour, I imagine it's just an absolute roller coaster of emotions, from being on stage performing as like this euphoric high, and then in contrast, there must be the lows of being away from family, friends. How do you deal with that when it's your everyday life?
Well, we're driving a little deeper now, aren't we? I am a divorcee, so that ought to tell you a little bit about how difficult it is to
raise your hand.
Raise your hand if you're a divorcee. Raise your hand if you're a multiple divorcee.
Managing, a family, 9,000 miles away from home is very difficult. It takes a special understanding with your partner to get it. I personally, I don't think about it too much. I just have to just go and do it. And there's things now like FaceTime and Skype and all of that stuff where you can kind of stay connected, but it takes a special understanding. There's times where you won't hear from your family for days. I would have to get a calling card and go to a payphone, over in Berlin, before we had, everybody has Wi-Fi now and, all of that stuff. But, there was days you get on a plane, you travel 2 hours, you get to the hotel, you go to like the business center and you send an email. I made it in safely, but I'm dead tired, so I'll hit you in the morning. And then they change sound check time. Get on the bus, you go to the next city, and it's like you try to do it again. It's really, really difficult, difficult. But the characteristics of all these gentlemen up here and a lot of others, just to keep everything in perspective. And this is a fantasy world. This is like Disneyland for adults. It's you get everything at your beck and call, even in those moments where you don't feel as appreciated. You have people like, what did you eat today? Or let me carry your bags for you, or, stuff like that. But, once you get home, it's a different world. You snap back into reality, and you're picking up kids from school and cleaning the house and cooking meals and stuff like that. And, I've just learned over the years just to kind of just do it. My oldest is 9, the youngest is 5. And they kind of understand now. It's like, oh, Dad's going on a trip. And when he comes back, he'll bring us something and show us all the pictures and stuff like that, So look forward to those moments. I would not like to do this for the rest of my life, to tour the world. I've seen it a few times, and I want to be able to do that with my family at some point. So, you know, you have to get in that mindset to where the reason why you're doing this changes. It's not about, you know, sex, money, and drugs, you know, that kind of thing, because it was at one point, you know, and then your perspective changes, and you do it for your family and building something to leave, you know, your kids with. But to say, you know, sum it all up, it's a very tough thing. You know, you have to be mentally, you know, ready to be able to do those things, you know, and sacrifices like that.